Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Next Wave podcast. Episode 33 is what we're bringing y'all today. It's going to be our CDL Champs review. If you tuned in last episode or the episode before that, you heard us mention that we were going to be there, which we were. So definitely going to be a good episode to cover CDL Champs. I'm one of your hosts, Blake Zanny Janny, joined by my co-host, Dak D. Woody Woodall, and today's going to be a great episode. Let's jump right into it. So, Dak, I never asked you, even though we were in court together yesterday. How was the drive back?
It was good. Once I got out of Dallas, it was smooth sailing. It was super easy. A lot better than coming here.
I bet. During traffic and shit.
Yeah. So.
I guess you did kind of, with how early I had to go to work, you kind of had to deal with some of the work traffic.
Yeah, it was kind of thick getting out, but like I said, once I got out, it was easy. It's kind of nice leaving in the morning, bro. It was calm. You just chilling. I was half asleep, so I was just...
Did you get a coffee or a energy drink or something?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Got to get that cherry limeade C4. That's my new go-to.
That shit's... C4 is good, bro.
Yeah.
It's real good.
Yeah.
Tasty. But yeah, we went to Champs together this weekend, us and our buddy Jake Rudd. I forgot. I told him he should be on this episode, but... yeah, we had a great time. We sat in the corner where the players walked out. So we were on the players' right side corner right when they walk out to go onto the stage. And hopefully we can include some of the videos that we took. I'll send the ones I have to you, Dak.
Okay.
And we can throw some clips in there. It was awesome. I don't know about you, but that's one of the coolest weekends I've had in my life. That was lit to watch Optic Gaming win champs in person.
Yeah. No, that gave me the same feeling as going to Rocket League Worlds. Like, it was just another level. Fans were at an all-time high passion-wise. Like, it was insane. Like, it was just a sea of people. Everyone was cheering their heads off. It was like CODtopia. It was awesome. It was sick.
Yeah, it was so
It felt
sick.
like a COD weekend camp that we had gone off to.
Yeah, it did feel like that. The only complaint I have with the venue and the setup is definitely challengers.
Yeah, that was rough.
It's a minor league hockey stadium, so there's the normal under the seats, the concession stands. Literally 12 feet behind is where. From the concession stand is where Challengers was set up, so it was kind of weird. Made for some narrow walk paths.
Yeah, it was way too crowded. A lot of people wanted to go watch those games, especially in between pro matches.
Especially on Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday. So there just wasn't enough room, and it was. No. There was people behind that could easily see the monitors, but they didn't even have the games up on the TVs. It was just you had to watch their monitors.
Team logos.
Yeah, so it was kind of a mess to watch Challengers until Sunday, obviously, but it looked like a good tourney though.
But yeah, so many people showed out, and it was fucking awesome, man.
It really was.
We got to see everything happen in person. We got up a total of like 2 times a day. We were switching off we wanted to secure our seats. We just stumbled in on Saturday and just kind of walked in and happened to be like, oh, this is actually a nice section. We could sit in here. This is a good angle.
Yeah.
We sat there the whole night, went back to Sunday for champs, and sat in pretty much the same exact spot. Much. And it was perfect, in my opinion.
I mean, like I was saying, though, I really don't think there was a bad seat in the house. Like,
no, there wasn't.
It was just
really
like
wasn't.
one lower bowl. Like, you could see the screens perfectly from anywhere. You weren't too far away at all. Like, it felt great.
Yeah, we actually said to each other that we think the floor seats were actually worse.
Yeah. And I saw someone tweet
couldn't really
that
see
they
the
were
players.
not the best.
Yeah.
So
but like it was definitely the best for like
the walkouts.
Everything else but watching the maps. Exactly. The walkouts,
for sure.
The celebrations, especially for the people on the opposite side of the walkouts, they got to see the coolest part, which is Optic winning and celebrating right in front of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great weekend. Some teams fell short and some teams overperformed, which we'll get to. But we actually want to talk about Esports World Cup before we get to that. So because of all these teams placing, on Thursday, Friday, being eliminated from the tournament, roster moves were in effect before the grand finals. Yeah. And we got a few to talk about. So first one is Beans replacing Clayster on Ravens. So as far as we know, the roster is now Beans, Fellow, TJ, and Gwent. Which, let's say that everything is the same, right? Mm-hmm. The last version that we saw of Carolina continues the same. The only thing that's different is Beans is in place of Clayster. I mean, in my opinion, with all due respect to Clayster, I think Fellow can guide this team just as well as without Clayster. Yeah. I think he's a very strong voice and he's a good leader, and I think they upgraded a lot. And I think now they're going to be like, with limited, the limited time together is going to play a part, especially in maybe S&D. But like they're better.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's you bring up some good points though, because I think their talent level definitely rises with Beans coming in. They're gonna have a lot more slaying power, like, that could really help them. But at the same time, taking Clay out takes a huge leadership, part of the team out. So who's gonna step up? It's probably gonna be Fellow, if I had to guess.
He was always very vocal. Mm-hmm. Like Clayster wasn't even the one calling the shots in Hardpoint. Yeah. And we don't really know about S&D because obviously we're not listening to the comms, but I know Tej is really heavy in decision-making in S&D. Mm-hmm. He's more of like the out-of-game leader when it comes to keeping your head on straight, having the right energy and whatnot. And I think that Beans can replace that with his energy in-game and talking shit out-of-game. Yeah, so I honestly think even without Clay's out of... just like that stuff,
out-of-game
like
stuff, intangible, like
I think that they're fine because I think in game that Fellow is going to be able to direct them very well, and I think he can adapt to be what Clayster is outside of the game too.
And I mean, we're this late in the year; everyone knows how to play the game at this point, and they have limited time, so they're probably just going to go with the mindset of let's have a simple game plan and just go out there and fry and hope for the best.
And we also got to remember that there's going to be 5 challengers teams here, or maybe 4 because as we saw, there's like 2 surge spots or something. Yeah, it
seems like the rules are very loose right now. They're just kind of trying to fill spots.
So I think the LAG boys might be able to go compete under a different banner, but we'll get to their roster as well too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Beans for Clayster, definitely a move in the right direction. A lot more slaying power in the respawns.
I like it. Out of all the people they could have picked up, that's a good pickup. I like it.
It is, yeah. It's either you pick Beans or maybe you give Cammy a chance, but he's too slow.
Yeah.
So like you're looking for aggressive ARs this late in the game, like you might Beans is a good pick.
Yeah.
But Standy and Gunless were dropped from Rocker, and they added Diamond Con and Estriel to the Rocker. And initially, we thought that was going to be with Gunless and Lens, because about last week's episode, the news we had was Gunless and Lens were a team of 2. Mm-hmm. Looks like that is not the case. It is Accuracy and Lens. So this roster, which is Rocker, will be Diamond Con, Accuracy, Estriel, and Lens, which... Man, Lamar better show out. He better show up. That's all I gotta say
Yeah.
because I really don't think he should be kept on this roster. But then again, you add someone like Diamond Khan who plays pretty fast in this game, and then obviously you have Estriel and Lins who are going to be a pretty good sub duo. Hopefully, you can see more than two of these players go off in a series, which is really going to catapult them, and that's the main gripe of their previous rosters. But yeah, man, I just think Lamar had a pretty bad year, and they chose to go with Lamar instead, which is definitely a leadership thing. And this late in the year, like you said,
leader. I mean, Lamar's teams always kind of overperform. You know, they do better than you think they would do going into the season. Yeah. So he's obviously doing something right, and he was playing better COD before they made the big roster change and got rid of Big Wig and stuff. So
that is true.
You know, it could be a better fit, and they could perform decent.
Yeah, we'll see. And we also got to remember, I think I ended my train of thought, but like for the challenge, like it's these teams that have been placing dead last all year have a chance to not place dead last at a tournament with these extra teams. So, you know, they can always have that in the back of their mind as like a motivation. Like, hey, we got 12th at the, 12th, 10th, 8th at the event, but like 8th at this event is like beating half the team. So,
right.
We'll see. Also, something about accuracy. Pred said on his stream today or yesterday that accuracy was dead ass just chilling in the cord. Like he wasn't coaching them. He wasn't doing anything. He was literally just straight chilling.
That's funny.
Other than that, speaking of teams that place last at tournaments and have a chance not to place last is Boston. They're still on the Snoopy train, as we talked about with the dropping of Printigam and Priesta. What?
This is such a fucking horrible decision by Boston. Who the hell is making decisions at Boston?
We got Cammy, Awakening, and Purge.
Did they watch?
Joining Snoopy.
Did they watch Sunday? That was the worst showing of S&D we've seen all year. The challengers or
Pro. Let's pick up 3 of them.
Dude, they won how many rounds? Like 4 rounds and 3 S&Ds in that series?
No. They brought it to 6-3 or 6-4, okay. So I think they won it at 6 or 7 rounds.
Okay.
Oh, no, it went to round 11.
Okay, yeah. Then it was 3 rounds and 2 games. 3 rounds and 2 games, and they started off horrible in the third S&D and looked like they were lost and weren't picking up bomb. Like, it just looked horrible. So,
yeah.
I don't know who at Boston watched that and was like, yeah, let's pick them up to play S&D versus pro teams. That's a good idea. So I think they'll just get absolutely destroyed again. Boston
some interesting decisions coming out of Boston.
Yeah.
And lastly, on the topic of roster changes heading into EWC, there's still potential roster changes to be had, but the rest of the teams, notice that the teams we're talking about didn't make champs.
Yeah, true.
We'll see what the teams that were at champs do. We'll get to the overperformers, but you got to think like, do Thieves go for an upgrade? You know, things
Seattle,
like that.
I don't think Thieves change after top foreign, but who knows?
But last roster thing is Johnny had, was it medical problems or family problems?
It just said, quote, health problem.
Okay.
Health issue.
So Fame will be replacing Johnny. So that's 3 of the LAG players going to other rosters. So we're going to see what that last spot looks like, whether it's another challenger team that's going to get the call up, or if another team comes together under a different CDL banner or a different banner of teams, the people being dropped and shuffled around. So we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, those were excuse me, my little Caesars is sitting like a rock.
That little Caesar's hitting.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the matches here. 4 CDL champs. So we had 4 matches on Thursday, 4 matches on Friday, 5 on Saturday, and obviously just grand finals on Sunday. To get us kicked off, we had the New York Subliners going up against the Seattle Surge. And this one went all the way to a map 5. Honestly, all I remember from this series is map 5, top red on Karachi. Kismet absolutely turned on Abuza to end the series, and it was not pretty, but
yeah,
they do get it done. 3-2 for the New York Subliners. They dropped map 2 and map 4, and they were all pretty close maps. We 250, 243, 6-5, 3-2. But yeah, 04 had a pretty lackluster event.
Yeah.
Starting off with this series with a .74.
Yeah, '04 definitely was struggling at times in this event, and I thought their hard point looked good despite him kind of struggling, but that's because Abuza had an all-time series.
Abuza and Hydra break the kill record and tie for 122 kills this series. That was literally what this was. It was straight up, other than Kismet helping out a little bit, this was a 1v1 with 3 bots on each team. Like, it was actually insane. Abuza breaks the damage record with over 23k. And yeah, Hydra dropped a 1.37 in this series to win their winners round 1 matchup.
Yeah.
So he was definitely the MVP of that series.
Yeah, but shout out to Booza. I mean, he played his ass off all weekend.
He did.
And this was a really good showing from him, and I'm excited to see what happens with him in the future. I don't know if he'll, like, what the contract situation is. I'm assuming Seattle's going to try to keep a player like that.
Sure.
So
yeah, you'd think.
Yeah, so maybe they'll build around him and have a better roster next year.
Yeah, the only reason I don't see that happening is if he gets picked up by a better team.
Yeah.
So, next match of the day, not too much to talk on this one. There were some close maps all around, but FaZe 3-1 Miami. I guess this could have been some foreshadowing to FaZe's later performance. They went toe-to-toe on every map and 3-1'd Miami, dropping the S&D. Miami had really good S&D all the last few splits going into this champs, so we knew that they had a chance at that map. But FaZe just had the ice on the other ones, even though they were close.
Yeah, I just remember Miami choked away the end of maps 3 and 4. Could have been a whole different series. So
it could have been. Yeah, Vickle went absolutely crazy. Like, map 1 was crazy because, like, Vickle had like 38 or something like that, and Simp had like 40. I don't know. It was something crazy, but
oh no, yeah, it was map 3. Vickle had 39, and
yeah,
Simp had 32. Abizi had 32. Like, everyone knows.
Yeah, it was a bang out.
Piecing up.
But yeah, not too much. That was kind of expected. I honestly thought FaZe's game, I thought they would be a little bit less of a margin on them, but I expected a 3-0 or 3-1 there.
Yeah, for sure. But it was a close series. I mean, Miami came with the energy this weekend, so.
They did. Yeah. They definitely did. Next match on Thursday was LA Thieves versus Toronto Ultra. Definitely what got this weekend started, or this whole tournament started, was the upset that LA Thieves had and the absolute run of hardpoint they had throughout this event. They went this past 2 weeks, they must have done some crazy work in hardpoint and scrims and whatnot to get it on track, because they were honestly probably the second or third best hardpoint team this whole entire tournament. Other than the winners, right? So they dominated them in the respawns. The map 4 was pretty close, but they 3-1'd them in the control and held them under 200 points in the map 1 hardpoint. Get 6-0'd in the search, which stung, but Toronto's a really good Rio search team. But Thieves take it 3-1. That boy Ghosty drops a 1.23 most damage in the lobby. Or I'm sorry, second most damage in the lobby. Of course, Scrap has the most. But yeah, I mean, just masterclass from Ghosty wills them to a best of 4, really.
Yeah.
A 3-1 win.
Yeah. No, the Thieves honestly surprised me. In the hardpoint map 4, there's a lot of moments where, like, they're down late in the hardpoint and Toronto has rotation, and that's where most teams that are outside the top 4 are just going to fold and get buried and just not have the composure to get a team push going and stuff like FaZe and them do well. And Thieves did it. They ended up breaking Hill and, got control of the map and started rotating well and closed them out. And I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was definitely a good series to watch. And as Optic fans, we were like, oh my God, Toronto just lost. We don't have to play them.
Yeah.
Granted, the next match, it was Optic. So at the time we didn't know, but we were like, if Optic wins, nonetheless. So yeah, last game of Thursday was Optic versus LAG. We were obviously very nervous about Optic going into this with their past showings.
Yeah.
We said, the map 2 is going to tell us whether or not they're here to play this event. They end up taking the series 3-0. And even on map 2, it was a high rise, and they were able to take it 6-4. Pred and Shotzi absolutely took over with 1.3s and 1.4s this series.
Yeah, Shotzi went crazy on that S&D.
Yeah, put him in the dirt. in this series, we finally saw the old Optic. We saw them just using their guns and their talent and just shitting on people. And we saw them playing a little bit more fast paced, more especially Pred, like going for those trades and going for those timings that we're used to see him. Back in Vanguard and MW2, he was literally called a red dot chaser, and we've seen him at times play very turtly and not really take his timings or be aggressive on the map. So it was nice to see him playing off of Shotzi, who does it every life for the most part. More of a sneaky role than just face fucking the other team like Fred does. So yeah, it was very nice to see both of them have a good series, and then the other two held their own, obviously playing their role. So it was a good start to the weekend for the boys, and we found out that we're playing LA Thieves, and we were like, holy shit.
Yeah. This was good showing from Optic, and when the SMGs are rolling, they're unstoppable.
Yep. Going into Friday, this is the start of our losers matches. We had Miami Heretics versus Seattle Surge. This one went all the way to the wire like we expected based off of the very good search play out of both of these teams and the overall mixiness that comes with it in hardpoint. But really, this was a Neslope from Miami. The Surge made the hardpoints look easy, winning by over 100 points in both of them. But the search game was too strong for Miami, and they end up winning a map 5 round 11. And I think you said you remembered a specific play from that.
Yeah, so Miami's teamwork and search looked really good. The control was an absolute shit show back and forth, and Seattle ended up losing on offense round 5. But yeah, in the search, Seattle was up 5-3, and the curse lived on. This weekend, the curse was strong. There was multiple 5-3s this weekend. But Seattle's up 5-3. They end up losing the next round, so it's 5-4 now. And it's 2v2. Abuza is in the little closet by A-bomb, gets the kill-off bomb. It's now 2v1, Seattle's advantage. And he jumped Chow's Real instead of just running away. And he died and left his teammate in a 1v1, and they lost. And that sent them to round 11, and then they lost round 11. And it was just an absolute heartbreaker for Seattle. Tough way to go out.
Yeah, Abuza had another good series over 1.05 with the most damage in the lobby. But obviously, things we don't see on the scoreboard is those mistakes. So he'll be thinking about that one for the next month or so. It's going to haunt him. But obviously, he has EWC to look forward to. Curious what the now eliminated from champs Seattle Surge do next. Obviously, you look to make some changes because you got last at champs, technically. And you want to improve and get some cash over there in Saudi. So
yeah,
I'm sure I assume they dropped Brezzy just because of he just lackluster in all game modes, other than a few searches where he does good. But you never see him do good against good teams. Mm-hmm. So you want to get someone who's a little bit more electric and has a higher ceiling. But yeah, seeing Miami win this, you're like, oh, maybe they could make a run because Real dropped the least amount of kills, worst KDs, least amount of damage on the team, yet they won the series. So
yeah,
you see
people
Real
like
Vickle.
Was 0-7 when they were down 5-3 in that search. Yeah, and he ended up getting a huge kill. I think it was that kill on Abuza. He shit on him bad, and yeah, they ended up.
Yeah, that's huge mental resolve out of Real to stay in the game, and ended up helping be a reason they won. So yeah, congrats to I would say a pretty even-keeled season for the Surge. I think it was kind of where we expected them to end up. They didn't get there the way we thought. I thought it'd be a consistent top 6 the whole way through, but they kind of had their ups and downs and finished where we thought they would amongst these teams. But
yeah, I mean, this easily, they could have beaten Miami. They could have been where Thieves were. Like, they're about on that level, but Thieves showed up this weekend, so, I don't want to take anything away from them, but, Seattle's up there. I mean, they're right there. They're close.
They're top 6 for sure. If not,
and their hardpoint looked good. So,
but yeah, getting into the next losers bracket match, we had Toronto Ultra versus LAG. Based off of how LAG looked and the loss that Toronto came off of, definitely had figured that Toronto would win this one.
Oh God!
And,
look at that.
And it's a bad red carpet for the side of LAG. Everyone positive on the side of Ultra. This was a DoorDash other than the round 11 map 2. But Toronto iced up and won it convincingly, limiting they 100-point clubbed in the hard point, and they only got one round on the control. So this was just dominance across the board. LAG get 8th.
Yeah, this was the start of Envoy starting to peak up and play better. So, but yeah, they got absolutely shit pumped in that hard point. It was sad. Fame 0.47.
When it comes to champs and there's only 8 teams, getting top 8 means last. So, unfortunately, LAG finally, come in last place at a LAN. I believe they at Major 2 they actually did get last, but nonetheless, this is where we saw them being eliminated at champs, and it did end up happening that way.
Yeah.
But we go back to the winners bracket here. We had Optic Texas versus LA Thieves. This one went to a map 5. Optic take it 3-2, winning the search game 5 6-3. And again, Shotzi and Pred having a great series. They reverse sweep. And also on the same day that LA Thieves or 100 Thieves Valorant also got reverse sweep. So
a beautiful meme was born.
It was great. Nate Shot and the boys over there were struggling a little bit. But nonetheless, it was a great series. They went toe-to-toe. As you can see, other than Pred and Shotzi, everyone floating from a 0.8 to a 0.99. It was just a bang out with the subs of Optic going crazy.
Yeah.
And it was insane to watch live. We were like, fuck, after we went down 2-0. That boy Joe Deceives was fucking up yapping after game 5. Pred's holding up the choke symbol, and Joe Deceives looks defeated. So it was very comical.
Yeah. But after that,
of easy.
Yeah, it did. And was that Cold War when he did that?
I think that was
a Vanguard.
I think it was. Oh, it was probably Vanguard, because that's when they had FaZe's number was Vanguard.
Yeah, that's right. No, after the control, I was feeling pretty good. I was like, okay, we're back. I mean, losing round 11 is tough, but 3-0ing them that dominant in control, that's when I was like, okay, momentum is back. This Optic team, dude, they just, once they get momentum, they're hard to stop.
They are. Yeah, and obviously, go ahead and touch on it now. Everyone's having different opinions online about whether the home crowd really mattered and whatnot. Obviously, it had a positive effect, but at the same time, that effect would still be there in a different location. Obviously, you're not going to have the drums. You're not going to have the Dynasty walkout if it's hosted by someone else or by the league. So, like, those things played in, and the lights on the wrists for everybody. So, yeah, but let's be honest. Let's not act like they don't have that aura everywhere they go, wherever the tournament's held. So obviously it played a factor, and we won't know if they would have won champs any other way, because it's not reality. Like, what's the point of arguing about it when there's no way to tell in this specific season? So obviously it helps, but at the same time they would have gotten that extra boost from the crowd either way. We saw it. Major 3, they're playing super well. There's a crowd there. They're getting hyped. We win the tournament. You go to a tournament where there's absolutely no crowd right after you just won the last LAN. There's no crowd. You're fucking chalked. Like, obviously, with the kind of support you have from a crowd, when they're not there, it's going to matter a lot, something you're not used to. But obviously, poor play is poor play. No one, you didn't see anyone blaming the crowd not being there when they lose, so now we're going to blame their wins or credit their wins to a crowd. So, I mean, I think it's a bullshit argument, but
I mean, I was ready for that take since they announced Optic was hosting, so that was always going to be a thing. Do I think it really affected much? No. Optic came out, they played well. They had the best case scenario bracket. They didn't have to play FaZe, Ultra, or Miami, the Boogeymen.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So, the dominoes fell, and they played who was in front of them, and they played them well.
Exactly.
That's all you can do.
But we'll get
the drums. I mean, come on, that is kind of cheese. That's some cheese.
No, yeah, for sure. The Dynasty walkout, it is.
Definitely some cheese.
And like I would have expected that, but also like on the the Optic podcast after it got announced, Hex was like, "We're not gonna make it an Octave Major."
Okay, another thing though that I haven't seen enough people talk about, the LA Thieves champs run was in LA, and didn't they let Kenny walk out with his lightsaber, and it was like a whole fiasco, like a whole
but that's
spectacle.
what I'm saying. When LA Thieves won, no one did anything about LA Thieves being home team.
So,
and also, there's an older clip of obviously this aches is very heavy on this after Optic won, is that it was crowd cheese, home event cheese. But there's literally a clip of him talking about playing and that the crowd doesn't matter. Like, it's all about gameplay. So, of course, he's just doing his shit.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, moving on, pointless argument. The reason that Optic didn't have to play FaZe or Toronto is because of this match here. Atlanta FaZe, the other side of the winner's bracket, play New York. This ends up going all the way to a map 5 where on Invasion, where New York, really good Invasion team, take down FaZe 6-3. This was crazy because Kismet dropped an absolute stinky poop 0.6 and they still won.
Minus 42, bro.
That's insane. Like, this is so bad. And
I feel like Kiz hasn't played. I mean, I'll have to look at the stats, but I feel like he always plays bad against FaZe, or at least recently.
Other than last major where they won, maybe, but yes, he always plays bad. He played bad all year.
Yeah, so
against the top 4.
I mean, he was just laughing. Like, it was laughable. He was 0-8 or 0-7 at one point in map 2, and like just started laughing. He was just baiting for Hydra the whole time.
Yeah, he acted like he was gonna like Hydra slap the controller out of his hand or something.
Oh yeah, they were about to just dap up, and Kiz had his controller in his hand, and Hydra accidentally punched the shit out of his hand, and the controller went flying across the table.
But yeah, New York able to ice up in the map 5 and take them down, which made things very interesting going forward. Because as we go into Saturday, our first day of attendance, we started off with a great series of what we thought ahead of us. Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto Ultra in the losers bracket. So starting off our weekend, we had one of the top 4 teams going home with a top 6 finish, and it ended up being Atlanta FaZe. Ultra make quick work of them and send them home after 3 maps, 160 points, held them to 160 in the hard point, 2 rounds in the search, and then won the control in a round 5, which is nothing new. Which is crazy because Draza, Draza ends up dropping an absolute stinky for the side of FaZe. This FaZe team, it seems they all have to be playing good for them to win a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And Draza didn't show up in the series where he has to, especially with all the shit talk and his annoying ass girlfriend. And he didn't, and Ultra swept him. It was quick.
Yeah, dude. And something's weird about FaZe. Like, ever since Major 3, I just feel like their intensity is just not there. Like, they're just, I don't know. It's like they're just going through the motions, bro, sometimes.
Too many body shot. They got complacent over there. Not really, but
I don't know.
This was a funny series because of the girlfriend banter and whatnot after map 2 and after they win map 3. Scrap was standing up, turning around, pointing at Keeks and doing the crybaby. It was fucking
they
hilarious.
put them on the Jumbotron.
Oh yeah, they put the fucking girlfriends on the Jumbotron and they started flipping each other off, jawing at each other.
But they put the camera on the girl next to Scrap's girlfriend, thinking that was Scrap's girlfriend.
Well, they put it on the correct one at first, and then they moved to the other one after she started flipping it off, that's the wrong girl or something. Gotcha. And then we're like, oh, that is the right girl, and they finally came back. But yeah, that was completely out of pocket.
No, for sure.
Not expecting that.
They weren't expecting that either. Like, that's kind of wild.
No, that was wild.
They've said some crazy personal shit to each other on Twitter, and there's some real beef, and they're just like, here's the 2 girls that fucking hate each other. Everyone cheer.
Yeah, that was insane.
That would never happen.
CDL Productions wild for that.
Yeah.
But we move on into the losers bracket. We have Miami Heretics going up against LA Thieves to secure a spot in the top 4. I think top 6.
Top 6.
No, top 6. To secure top 6, LA Thieves versus Miami Heretics. LA Thieves keep it rolling after their close loss to Optic. I'm pretty sure I told you at the venue, even if you're LA Thieves, coming off that map 5 loss to Optic, you're feeling good. And they keep rolling. They end up dominating Miami in the search and the control, and also winning map 1 and 3-0ing them pretty quickly. Ghosty with a 1.55 demon.
Yeah, he was going crazy this event. That's Dan Toasty right there.
Yeah, it's Dan Toasty.
Yeah.
Miami Heretics bail out. What is that? That's Is that top 6?
Yeah, they got top 6. Seattle and LAG were bottom 8.
Gotcha. That's right. So they got top 6 at the event. GG's to them. Definitely in the area where we thought they would fall.
And this did secure top 4 for Thieves.
Yes, this did secure top 4 for Thieves. That's right. So yeah, Thieves keeping it going. GG's to Miami Heretics. They in the year with a top 6 finish at Champs. Not what they wanted, but I definitely think that's kind of where they belong. It's either that or they beat Thieves and then they're done after that, which would have been an overperformance in my opinion. But moving back into the upper bracket here, we had the winners finals, which was Optic Texas versus New York Subliners. Just like the event has been going, this one went down to a map 5 where Optic took care of business. 6-1'd them, made them look stupid. And Dashi literally died one time. Kenny went 9-2. It was just an Optic takeover in the map 5, and they get the job done. But Sib, the only one positive. It was a very lackluster performance, KD wise, for the Subliners, as Sib's the only one positive, and it was just a 1.01, going positive by 1 kill.
Yeah, Hydra kind of struggled this series, honestly. It was surprising, and Sib had a really good weekend, so, I mean, he continued to show out. But I want to highlight Shotzi's map 3, bro. 35-12. This man dropped a 2.92.
It was
he
insane
was just
to watch.
gliding through the map. This dude was doing anything he wanted.
This was or no, that was in the map 5. Or no, this was I'm thinking of the grand finals. I'll bring it back up when we get to the grand finals. But yeah, Optic take care of business, move on to the grand final. So we're sitting there after this match on Saturday like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We get to watch Optic in a grand final tomorrow. So this was awesome to watch. And I'm pretty sure right before this, I told you, I was like, watch Dashi Masterclass. And he drops a 1.3 with the most damage in the lobby. So I had a nice call there. But getting
we were reading the board on Saturday.
We were reading the board on Saturday. Second to last match, our losers semifinals was Toronto Ultra versus LA Thieves. This one was a bang out of a series. It went all the way to map 5, round 10, where Toronto took it 6-4. They just had the ice a little bit more, and it was a lackluster map out of the Thieves. But, I mean, Kleenex finally showed up. Envoy had a big day Saturday. Big Envoy day, as we were saying in the venue. But, yeah, it was just clinical work overall out of the Toronto Ultra. Pull off the Neslo. Like I mentioned earlier, LA Thieves hardpoint this event was crazy. They took both of them in this series to push it to a map 5, but couldn't get it done in the S&D. Toronto Ultra was playing good S&D this weekend.
Yeah, the Thieves hardpoint was looking really good. I thought their teamwork looked really good this weekend, just in general. They seemed to really be playing well off each other in search and hardpoint as well, and they did a really good job, rotating. And like I said, where most teams in the top 6 would crumble against top teams when they're in a neck-and-neck 200 to 200 hardpoint, Thieves kept their composure and stayed ahead on rotations and closed them out. So I was thoroughly surprised, but their run came up short here, and it was a sad end, but we're proud of the Thieves. They came a long way
top
this season.
4, definitely a great way to finish.
They went from never being able to close a hard point out to closing them out constantly.
Yeah, they were the second or third best hardpoint team this event. Which brings us to the last series of the day, our losers finals, which was New York Subliners against the Toronto Ultra. This one also went to a map 5, but New York able to dominate it on Invasion 6-2. Hydra went 11-2. Sib went 10-3. Skies just hung out at 6-2, and Kismet got carried at 1-6. And the boys on the side of Ultra did not do well. So New York booked their ticket to the grand finals to play Optic on Sunday.
Yeah, Hydra and Sib look really good, and Ultra, I honestly thought that they would take this just because they had been playing so well on Saturday. But yeah, New York, just too much for them.
Kiz, bringing us
even
to
despite Kiz being 49 Bulldog all event long.
Terrible. Yeah, they needed Kiz on Sunday, as Optic Texas become your champions very convincingly in the best of 9. They won 5-1, only dropping the map 3 control. And Kenny and Pred had a great series. Shotzi had a .99 as well, but obviously contributed how Shotzi normally does. Pred and Kenny had a great series. Definitely, we were thinking one of them is going to win MVP, but we thought it was just for that series. But for the whole tournament, which is what they do MVP on, Shotzi, well-deserved win, as he did go crazy in these couple of matches before. So Optic, take it all. It was awesome to see it there live. We'll make sure to include some clips, but man, it was so cool to watch. Bruce finally got his ring. Pred, first Australian to win a ring, and then Kenny getting number 2 and becoming the most winningest person in the CDL era.
Shotzi's first real ring.
I would say Shotzi's first real Call of Duty ring for sure. But nonetheless,
solidified, one MVP.
Solidified superstar. Yeah. He's a multi FPS champion, world champion now, and has 3 rings across 2 titles. So, dude's an absolute stud. For the other side of things, subliners Hydra and Sib came to play, while Skies and Gizmit didn't have the best series, and they were just outclassed as a team overall in the finals. Optic definitely rode the energy of the venue and got it done.
Yeah, no, it was a great series. Despite it being 5-1, I still enjoyed watching all the matches. But there was a turning point in map 4 search when Shotzi stood up and said, "Your dog shit." Yeah, map 5. Sorry. When
it was Shotzi the DVD round.
And said, "Your dog shit" to Skies.
Yes,
and
it was.
Dude,
it was bad. This is what I was going to bring up earlier.
You could feel the energy get sucked out of NYSL right there. Like, they were just so dejected after that round. And then next round, they got shit on to end the round. Like, it just snowballed. And
it was
right
bad.
Then and there, I was like, yeah, Optic's probably going to win this. But it was so crazy because after that map, Dashy was like, just so happy because like they could feel it. I mean, you could tell the whole building.
He was like
feel
this,
it.
And he started.
Yeah, his hand was shaking. Like they were so excited that I was like, "Oh shit, don't get too excited now."
Yeah, easy now.
But on the flip side, New York was like so dejected, and their back was against the wall. All the pressure's on them going into that control. So, it outweighed Optic's nerves, I think. But the last control was crazy.
No, yeah, it was crazy. They needed that offensive win. To 3-1 them. Could have gone to round 5, but Optic ended up executing a great push onto the A point over at the bathroom side of the map and cutting off the spawners, getting the kills, and they stayed composed in those winning moments and got the job done.
Yeah. Winning that round 11 map too was huge, bro.
Huge. It was a 2v3 as well, or something like that. Oh no, it was a 3v4.
Yeah, 3v4.
They ended up working some crazy shit because they got naded off rip.
And I believe it was the second 3v4 that they had won that game.
They definitely had a 2v3.
Playing their numbers well. So
yeah, they definitely had a 2v3 earlier in that map as well. But yeah, congrats to Optic. The process is going to be a banger when it comes out on August 14th. Definitely going to be watching that, and we're going to include the videos, hopefully, that we took at the venue in the pod. But yeah that was our COD Champs breakdown and recap. Thank you guys so much for tuning in throughout this CDL season as we followed along, and I believe reviewed every weekend that we were available. And if we didn't record it that weekend, we covered it regardless on the next episode. So thank you guys for being a part of this 2024 CDL season. We still got to look forward to the esports World Cup, but we're going to cap off this episode with our pick 10 and our pick and bans. You ready to do the pick 10?
Yes, sir.
We're doing Call of Duty competitive maps today. So competitive maps that were in the rotation, they could have been taken out or put in halfway through the year. Doesn't matter as long as they were played in competitive. And they aren't specific to the game. So if you say like a map that was remade in multiple games, it applies across the games as one map. You can't take it from a specific Call of Duty. Did we have did anyone comment on our last one? Did we even post the last one?
No. So you want to do phone percentage?
Sure, I'm at 33.
Let's go. I'm at 53.
All right, go ahead.
Give me raid.
Damn it.
Give me raid. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, raid's the
I knew
goat.
that was going to be the 1-1.
Raid.
Everyone loves
just
Raid.
the perfect map. It's like vibrant. It's like a cool house. You got a car and like a sick driveway, and it's easy to rotate on. It's fun.
It's a good map. I'm gonna take Standoff then.
Okay.
That was my next one.
As expected. That was my next one as well. Okay. What's your favorite game mode on Standoff?
CTF.
Ooh, good shout.
It's only two. It's only CTF and Search.
Okay. Let's go Fringe.
Fuck.
BO3.
That's really one I wanted to get.
Yeah. You'll find maybe that I have a lot of the same game on here, but yeah, Fringe from BO3, dude. That was a fun map. I feel like it's just the perfect 3 lanes. Like they're all cut off from each other. It's a good map.
Okay, I'm gonna go Slums.
Okay.
That's all the BO2 for me, though.
Yeah. Crash. That's just nostalgia for me. I could play that today and hate it, but yeah, Crash. I have a lot of memories on that map.
Okay. I don't have any COD 4 maps in here, but they are good. But they're just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Solar.
Okay.
Goated map, so good on that game mode for S&D, or on that game for S&D and Hardpoint. And I think Uplink was on it as well for a short period of time. I think it got taken out, but really dope map, looked amazing. Yeah, Solar.
All right. Mine from AW is Comeback.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Comeback.
I was debating putting that on there.
I have fun memories playing Uplink on that map.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only mode it was in. Yeah, that was a really good map. You think of the formal clip, the formal clip where he's like just slaying out with the red dot bow, bottom mid, and taking it, and he does the dunk in the end and gets another kill.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Good pick. Detroit.
Ooh, okay. Big AW list.
Yeah, they have good maps.
Yeah, they do. AW did have some good maps. Okay. I had a lot of BO3 on here, but I only picked one. Because my next map is Arsenal from BO4.
Nice. I had that on my list.
Yeah, I just want to play that right now. That sounds so fun. Just spawning up on Arsenal with a Maddox. Oh.
Fire. Is this the last pick?
Yeah.
So I have Standoff, Slums, Solar, Detroit. I gotta have Black Ops 3 on here. Yeah, I'll end it with. Oh, it's tough between these two. I'm gonna go Stronghold. Okay. I think I had Stronghold or Arsenal.
Yeah.
Not Arsenal. Sorry. Breach.
Yeah. Breach
was the other one.
Breach was my favorite to wall run on.
Yeah, I was thinking about like what I think of when I see that map, and then I was thinking about my personal.
I got bad Optic memories tied to Stronghold.
Yeah, that came into play, but I myself loved that map when I played wagers on it, and I was good at it, and it was good for all 3 game modes.
Yeah.
Or 3. I forget. Black Ops 3 had 4 game modes. It was good for 3 of the 4 game modes. Because capture the flag. So yeah. So my list is Standoff, Slums, Solar, Detroit, Stronghold, and yours is
Raid, Fringe, Comeback, Arsenal, and Crash.
Okay. All right. Let us know in the comments if we post this who wins. Some honorable mentions. I only had 2 more or 3 more that weren't picked on my list, I believe. I had Breach, Moscow from Cold War.
Good shout. I should have fucking put a Cold War map.
This would have been a complete personal pick because I definitely think that pandering matters in this specific game or
terminal
list. No. I I was gonna put Apocalypse from Cold War. I fucking loved that map, dude. I
thought about it. I thought about
but
that.
Throwback is one where if you took some of my good ones, I was gonna get Throwback on the list from Infinite Warfare.
Yeah,
that map is godlike, bro.
Is that the map with the baseball field? I always say that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That it had all 3 game modes too. It was lit.
Yeah,
that's the thing about IW that people sleep on. That it had good maps that were good for all 3 game modes.
Mm-hmm. Express. No one said Express.
Yeah, it's S&D only.
Yeah.
I felt like that kind of limited its.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say
potential.
I put Terminal just because it's Terminal. Redwood's
coded, bro. I love
dude.
That map.
The fucking
I love that
running
map.
on the trees like underneath and
bro.
shit, taking
I'd be
crazy
up in there
routes.
like a spider monkey, dude.
Bro. Yeah, that map was fun.
But let us
that's
know
all
in the comments who won. We love doing the pick 10, so let us know if you have any ideas for our next category as well. But to round off our episode, as always, we're going to do our pick and ban segment where me and Dak pick and ban something from our recent lives. I'll go ahead and start us off. I'm actually going to do 2 picks today because I couldn't decide. First off is the International Olympic Committee, who just passed a vote to include esports in Olympics. So we are going to be getting Olympic esports, so where we can actually have these conversations of a USA team for COD, a Canadian team for COD, all this shit.
I wonder, does that just mean like a couple esports, or
it does? We have no idea if COD's going to be included.
I would assume if they're starting out, it's going to be like CS.
It's gonna. No, I don't even think it's going to have shooters? Violent shooters. I bet it's going to be like that. League, Rocket League, Overwatch.
Rocket League would be lit. That would be so lit.
Rocket League is like this. I think is going to be the staple of Olympic.
That could be big for Rocket League. That could be really big for Rocket League.
And then my other pick was Bryson DeChambeau put out a video with Donald Trump today of them playing from the red tees trying to break 50. Amazing fucking video. It was so fun to watch. Trump is fucking a stick. By the way, all that shit he talks about his golf game, and hyping himself up, he backs it up. He's good.
Wow.
And it's funny because it's his course, and he's got a security detail, so he'll just drive up right on the tee box, park right next to the tees, get up, hit, drive along the tee boxes straight to the ball. It's fucking hilarious, dude. But it was a great video. Shout out Bryson. That was sick.
Sick. Well, my pick is orchestras, dude.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that.
So we're sitting there Sunday before the Optic match, and all of a sudden 30 people come in with tuxes and all their violins and trumpets and all the good instruments, and we were like, what in the hell is about to happen? And then they iced us for another 15 to 20 minutes. The orchestra people were just sitting there doing nothing, and we were like, what the heck? But no, they played the CDL theme, the CDL theme song, I guess.
The skirt.
Yeah, skirt. And they played that as the players walked out. It was sick. Just the energy that brought. You got real trumpets out there blaring as the players walk in. It was sick. And then whenever the song
it was right before the
switches
Dynasty.
Up, yeah. And then the song switches up, and the deeper horned part where it's the trombones, New York walks out, and it made them feel like the villain team. It was sick. Dope. It really brought the energy, and then all the players stood in a standoff line. They weren't making eye contact though. I needed someone to stare
Fred
someone
and Sib
down.
were staring at each other.
Yeah, but they're homies. They were probably laughing.
They were just fucking around.
Kenny was looking at his feet and checking his watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was dope.
My band, I couldn't think of anything specifically. My band, I just sitting there, I was like, there's just not enough time in the day. That's my band, is that there should be more time in the day.
Facts.
You get home from work, I get home sitting through traffic, and I'm like, oh, I want to lay down for a second, and it's time for dinner, and then it's dinner, and it's 8 o'clock, and then I want to play some games. The next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock, and I'm like, I should go to bed, and then I get in bed, and then a couple more hours go by, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to get terrible sleep. And
dude,
then I just feel like there's not enough time in the day, man. And
I feel that so bad, dude. Because it's work ends at 5, and then now in my routine, I have an hour to kill between that and the gym. So I just do nothing. I just sit there. I'll eat, but that's about it. So there's an hour gone. Go to the gym, come back, shower. It's like 8 already. My night is shot. I'm dead tired. And, you know, I want to edit and do other stuff, but it's late.
Late? It'd be like that. Dang. What's your band?
My band is people with no social awareness. So so we're leaving the venue Sunday, and we're stuck in traffic on top of the parking garage.
Oh, yeah.
Lo and behold, out comes Hydra with his mom and girlfriend.
I forgot about
Hydra literally brushes shoulders with the rearview mirror. He's so close to our car. Like he walks right by the car. He's in his own world, hands on the backpack, staring at the ground, just contemplating everything that just happened. So if you're a normal human with decency, you're thinking, hey, he just lost the biggest tournament of the year. Maybe I shouldn't approach him. But we got idiots in Optic shirts behind us, these dumbass kids behind us. Hydra, can we get a picture? And Hydra's a much better man than me, because I would have said no, but he said yes and didn't smile. He just sat there and like didn't even pose. He was just dead inside, which is understandable. And I felt bad. Yeah. I felt bad that he even got asked for a picture. I was like, what is wrong with y'all? And they were so Optic fans, so it's just like, bro, like, come on.
It was funny because Jake, the other guy that we were with who was driving, we're just sitting there, looks and sees at first Hydra's girlfriend, Yensos or whatever her name is, and he was like, I was like looking at my phone, and he's like, oh, that's what's her name's girlfriend. Who's she dating now? And I look up and I see her. I'm like, oh, that's Yen. Like, I didn't say anything out loud yet. And then I look behind her and I'm seeing Hydra moping. I'm like, dude, she's dating Hydra. Look behind her. And then we're just like, oh shit, it's Hydra. And he's literally looking down. He's looking at right concrete. He's looking at his shoes. Yeah. He's just
his mom
moping.
His mom was like walking 10 yards in front of him, like he wasn't even with them. He was just like back behind him.
Yeah, he was behind moping around, and I can't believe people were.
Yeah, no, I felt bad, and then those kids were like, Hydra, come here.
Yeah. That was insane. But
also, why was he in traffic with us? Why is he not in some sort of VIP parking?
I know. He got out after us, bro,
and had to sit in traffic for 30 minutes.
I saw videos like people were treating the event like a football game. They waited outside of like the closed off parking for all the Optic boys and Hex and Scump to leave, and like putting up pins and stuff, hoping they would stop their cars and sign and everything, bro.
It's
insane. Pretty crazy. Listen, we love Optic, but we ain't on no dick.
Hey, listen, we need those people though. They push the scene further.
We do.
All right, and this weekend was so good for COD. I think a lot of people tuned in that otherwise wouldn't. Queso was watching. That was lit.
I saw that of him reviewing and talking about.
This weekend got some more eyes on it. If Black Ops 6 is fun for everyone, the casuals love it. It doesn't die in 3 months. The scene could grow. It could be a good year.
It could grow.
Yeah.
It could grow. But that's going to do it for us on episode 33. This past weekend was amazing. Got to hang out with one of my best buds, Dak, and we got to see Optic win a world championship, CDL Champs 2024. Congrats to them. Can't wait to watch the process. But that's going to do us for here at Next Wave. Thank you for tuning in to episode 33. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to help us grow. We really appreciate the feedback, and we'll see you on episode 34. Deuces.